Hello all, welcome to Amigos IAS Academy. In today's session, we shall be discussing in detail about the concept of contempt of court. Why is this in news? An MP's remark on judiciary has led to spark on debate of contempt of court. So today, we shall in detail discuss about contempt of court. What are the provisions under the Contempt of Courts Act 1971? Can an MP be disqualified under this particular act? So this is a news article which is being published by various newspapers. This is today's article which is published in the Hindu newspaper. So what is the relevance of today's topic for your UPSC examination? In prelims examination, the topic is covered under the Indian Constitution and there were MCQs asked from the contempt of court topic in 2022 prelims. Coming to mains examination, it is covered under your GS paper 2 under your polity. Now, what is the meaning of contempt of court? Contempt of court means any action which disobey, disrespect and undermine the authority of the judiciary is called contempt of court. So, which disrespect, disobey and undermine the authority of the court. When did contempt of court evolved is the next question. So, contempt of court was first time introduced in UK to give power to the king. In UK, the judiciary powers are also with the king and to protect the king, contempt of court concept was introduced there. As we were ruled by British, even we adopted the concept of contempt of court. So, this is the evolution of contempt of court. Now, there are mainly two types of contempts, that is civil contempt and criminal contempt. What is civil contempt? Willful disobedience to any judgment, decree, direction, order, writ or other process of a court or willful breach of an undertaking given to a court. So, if court has given any judgment or any order, any decree, that must be abided by both the parties. If any party don't abide by the judgment given by the court, then they are covered under civil contempt of the court. And if any party gave affidavit to the court to do something and the same party don't do the thing, then even those are covered under the civil contempt. So, civil contempt means not following the order given by the court covers the civil contempt. What about your criminal contempt? So, criminal contempt is mainly defined under section 2 of C of Contempt of Courts Act 1971. What about civil contempt? Civil contempt is defined under section 2 of B of Contempt of Courts Act 1971. So, under criminal contempt, again you have three important things. The publication, whether by words, spoken or written or by signs or by visible representation or otherwise of any matter or the doing of any other act whatsoever which scandalizes, prejudices, interferes with the authority of the court becomes the criminal contempt. Means if we write anything which scandalizes the authority of the court, that becomes criminal contempt. If it prejudices or interferes or tends to interfere with the due course of any judicial proceedings, it is covered under criminal contempt. Or interferes or tend to interfere with the administration of justice or in any other matter, that also becomes your criminal contempt. So, civil contempt is not obeying the order given by the court. Criminal contempt means doing anything, saying anything, publishing anything which scandalizes, prejudices or interferes with the powers of judiciary becomes the criminal contempt. So, these are two types of contempts which were mainly defined under your Contempts of Courts Act 1971. They are not defined in Constitution of India, but these both are defined under your Contempts of Court Act 1971. Now, from where do contempt of court derive its power? So, it mainly takes power from both Constitution of India and the statutory law, that is Contempt of Courts Act of 1971. So, it has provisions in both Constitution of India and Contempts of Court Act 1971. So let us see what are the provisions under Constitution of India and what are the provisions under Contempt of Courts Act of 1971. So first, starting with Constitution of India, the first and foremost article is Article 129, which says Supreme Court shall be a court of record and shall have all the powers of such a court, including the power to punish for contempt of itself. So what do you mean by court of record? Court of record means the court shall, it preserves all the judgments which are being pronounced by it, and if anyone who doesn't obey or who doesn't alter, they are being punished by court under the Article 129. Which court? Supreme Court. So under Article 129, the power of contempt of court is given to Supreme Court. So this is the Article 129. And next article is 142 of 2. Just read whatever is being underlined on this slide. The Supreme Court shall have all and every power to make any order for the purpose of securing the investigation or punishment of any contempt of itself. So under section 142 of 2 also, power was given to Supreme Court to pass any order to punish anyone who has committed contempt of court. So Article 129 and Article 142 of 2 are related to your Supreme Court powers. What about High Court? High Court powers are given under Article 215. Every High Court shall be a court of record again and shall have all the powers of such a court, including the power of punishment for the contempt of itself. So Supreme Court was given the power of contempt under your Article 129, 142 of 2, and High Court was given power under Article 215. Then what about subordinate courts? If anyone disobeys the order of subordinate court, where the provision was given? The provision of subordinate courts was not given in your constitution, but it is given under Contempt of Courts Act of 1971. So Contempt of Courts Act 1971, it was mainly passed after recommendations given by H.N. Sanyal Committee. So this is the committee which gave few recommendations, and these were enacted as your Contempt of Courts Act 1971. So do remember the committee's name, H.N. Sanyal Committee. So based on the recommendations, Contempt of Courts Act was passed. What are the provisions under your Contempt of Court Act 1971? First and foremost, the definition of contempt of court is not defined under your Constitution of India, but it is defined under your Contempt of Court Act. Under section 2, we already discussed under section 2 of B, civil contempt was defined, and under section 2 of C, criminal contempt is defined. So, it defines the contempt of court. Next, punishment for contempt of court is given under the provisions of Contempt of Court Act 1971. So, what is the punishment given? Simple imprisonment for 6 months or fine up to 2000 rupees or both. So, 6 months of imprisonment or fine of 2000 rupees or both can be awarded by the court. Limitation period. What is the limitation period meaning? It means that within no one can go to court after infinity of time, but they have to go within 1 year from the date from which the contempt has been done. So, only within 1 year of the contempt of the court, the aggrieved party or anyone can file a case in the court. After 1 year, no one can seek justice from court. So, that is the limitation period which is given under your Contempt of Courts Act 1971. Next, protection against contempt of court. These protections are also mentioned under your Contempt of Court Act 1971, which doesn't fall under your contempt of court. So, these are exceptions. First exception is innocent publication and distribution of matter, not contempt. If someone without any ill intention and without any awareness, they have published something which amounted to the contempt of court, then such publications are exempted. So, innocent publications are exempted from your contempt of court. Fair and accurate report of judicial proceedings, not a contempt. So, if anyone publishes fair and accurate information, that doesn't amount to contempt of court. Third one, fair criticism of judicial act, not contempt. So, everyone can give their be critical about the judgment, but they shouldn't be critical about the judge, or the any personal attacks on the judge are not entertained. So fair criticism of judicial act or not contempt. Next, as we already discussed, powers for Supreme Court and High Court are mentioned under Constitution of India, but power of subordinate court is given under Contempt of Courts Act 1971. Who has the power? The power is given to the High Court. So if any contempt of court is happening with the subordinate courts, then High Court enters into the picture. So High Court has the power to punish people whoever disobeyed the order of subordinate court. So these are the important provisions under your contempts of court, and in detail provisions are not required for you. This much of information is required to write your mains answer. Next. Okay. So we discussed types of contempt and articles and provisions under Contempts of Court Act 1971. Now let us see what is the process required to initiate the proceedings in the court to file contempt of court. Contempt proceedings can be initiated in two primary ways. First is the court takes suo motu. Suo motu cognizance means court take on its own. So any case, the court itself will be taking it and it will start the judicial proceedings. The second one is on the basis of petition, usually filed by an aggrieved party or upon the recommendation of the Attorney General or Solicitor General. So any aggrieved party who is at loss can file the petition, or on recommendation of the Attorney General or Solicitor General, we can file the petition. So Attorney General is the first law officer of the country. So on his recommendation only, we can file the petition for contempt of court. Now, what are the procedures for initiating the criminal contempt? So the procedure for initiating criminal contempt is majorly mentioned under your section 15 of Contempt of Courts Act 1971. So to initiate criminal contempt proceedings, you majorly need the permission of Attorney General. Unless and until you get the permission, you can't file a petition. So Attorney General or the Solicitor General, and in the case of High Courts, you have to get the permission of Advocate General. He is the first law officer of the state. So for Supreme Court, you have to get the permission of Attorney General, and in state government, you have to get the permission of Advocate General. May bring in a motion for initiating a case of criminal contempt. So you need the permission of Attorney General or Advocate General. If the motion is brought by any other person, the consent of the Attorney General or the Advocate General in writing is required. So either Attorney General on his own can move the petition, or if any complainant has come to Attorney General and seek the permission of Attorney General, then also he can initiate the proceedings. So these are the required provisions for initiating the complaint under criminal contempt of court. Now what happens if Attorney General has denied the permission? If Attorney General denies the permission, the petition ends there and then. But the complainant can go to the court and ask for suo motu taking of the case. So he can either plead the court to take suo motu cognizance, or he has to get the permission of Attorney General. Why is the permission of Attorney General required, and why it is made mandatory? To save the time of the judiciary. Already judiciary is overburdened with number of cases. So to prevent and to help judiciary, Attorney General comes into the picture. Now, the major debate in today's article is, can an MP be disqualified if convicted of contempt? This is the major question which everyone is having. A conviction for contempt does not lead to automatic disqualification from Parliament under your Representation of People Act 1951. Under your Representation of People's Act, any MP can be disqualified only if the punishment exceeds 2 years. But under your Contempt of Courts Act 1971, punishment is of simple imprisonment for 6 months only. So it is not exceeding your 2 years period. The MP cannot be disqualified then and there. But if Parliament takes up the issue and privilege committee takes up the issue, and if the debate, discussion and voting is done in the parliament, then the MP can be disqualified. But if privilege committee is not taking up the issue, then it is left to the parliament's will. That's it. Contempt of court relevance. So what is the relevance of the contempt of court in today's democracy? To ensure the supremacy of the judiciary. If there are no provisions of contempt of court, no one will be willing to follow the orders given by the judiciary. So that's why, to ensure the supremacy of the judiciary, we need the provisions like contempt of court. To ensure court orders are obeyed. To prevent media trials and ensure fairness. Nowadays, media trials are being increased in everywhere, where media itself is becoming the judge and giving the judgment. So to stop such arbitrary decisions and arbitrary news being spread over, we need such provision in our constitution. And the power is given by constitution itself. We are not giving the power through a statutory law, but the constitution itself has given the power to the judiciary in the form of contempt of court. So these are the relevance of contempt of court. Now what are the criticisms for contempt of court? The first and foremost is the violation of fundamental rights. It is violating my right to freedom of speech and expression. So violation of fundamental rights. Power to punish for contempt of court, to silence dissent and criticism. So it can be used as a tool to silence the dissent and criticism. Contempt of Court Act 1971 is often criticized to be too vague. So the provisions of the Contempt of Court Act are not defined completely, defined in detail to be apt. So they are being vague. That's why it is criticized. Violation of press freedom. So it can also be used as a tool to silence the media. Has no place in modern democracy. Though UK is the first country to introduce the concept of contempt of court, after few years, even UK government stopped using the contempt of court provisions. So only Indian democracy, Indian government is still following the provisions of contempt of court. Construed as judicial overreach. So this is most important. It is seen as judicial overreach. Now, whenever we are reading any issue in polity and governance, you need to make a note of any previous or related judgments already pronounced by judiciary. So the related judgments in the case of contempt of court are, first is Baradakanta Mishra versus Registrar of Orissa High Court, 1973. The Supreme Court held that the power to punish for contempt of court is a necessary power. So it is a necessary power to maintain the rule of law and to preserve the dignity and authority of the courts. And if you remember, Prashant Bhushan case is the most recent one. The Supreme Court held that his tweets could have undermined the dignity and authority of the Supreme Court in general and the CJS office in particular. The court held Prashant Bhushan guilty of contempt of court. So these two judgments can be quoted in your mains answer writing. And you can even quote 274th Law Commission report, which stated that contempt of court is required in Indian democracy and its continuation is important to uphold the authority of the judiciary. So you can even quote 274th Law Commission report. What is the way forward? See, balancing the right to freedom of speech and expression along with respect towards judiciary is most important in today's world. And not being vague, but in-depth or clear definition of all the provisions under the contempt of court has to be followed. And next, fair and impartial proceedings of judicial proceedings for contempt of court cases has to be done. So what are the three things which have to be done? Balancing the right to speech and respect towards the judiciary, fair and impartial proceedings, and third one is not being vague but complete or clear provisions should be defined under your Contempt of Courts Act. Now moving on to the MCQ of the day. So this MCQ is taken from your UPSC prelims examination. Consider the following statements. Pursuant to the report of H.N. Sanyal Committee, the Contempt of Court Act 1971 was passed. The Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court and High Court to punish for contempt of court themselves. The Constitution of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. In India, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. Which of the following statement given above is or are correct? As we have already discussed, H.N. Sanyal Committee is the basis for your Contempt of Court Act 1971. So, the first statement is correct. The Constitution of India empowers the Supreme Court under your Article 129 and High Court under your Article 215 to punish for contempt themselves. So, even second statement is correct. The Constitution of India defines civil contempt and criminal contempt. This is wrong. We have already seen under section 2 of Contempt of Courts Act 1971, it is defined, not under the Constitution of India. So, your third one is wrong. In India, the Parliament is vested with the powers to make laws on contempt of court. True. Because Contempt of Court Act 1971 is a statutory law, so the Parliament has the power. So, your 1, 2, 4 are correct options. So, the answer is B. Moving on to the mains practice question. What are the constitutional and statutory basis for contempt of court in India? How far do you agree that judiciary needs the protection? So, please do write the question given. That's all for today's session. We shall meet tomorrow with new topic. Till then, happy learning.